Good evening, everybody.
Hi,
Hey,
Jeremy. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you two ladies doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
doing well. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 13th Dimension. It's been a minute since I've had the show on, and I have been given a very unique opportunity to have some very special guests. And I thought, well, since I'm having a little procedure next week, I figured I'd get these two in here now and um, find out just who the hell they are and what they are all about. So please welcome Haley Stark and Chris Marie. Now, I have to say, Chris, when you sent me the email and it
Hmm.
said Chris Martin on there, the
Yes.
first thing I thought of was Coldplay.
I get that a lot.
Yeah,
People ask me all the time. They're like, "Man, I saw that name and I was so excited. I thought maybe it was the guy from Coldplay." I was like, "Yeah, unfortunately not."
I know. I was actually talking about that last night on one of my other shows, Supernatural Talk,
Okay.
and one of my other show hosts, he I was trying to get him to realize who Chris Martin was, but he knew who Coldplay was, but he
Hmm.
didn't know the names of the guys in the band. I'm like, dude, it's the lead singer of Coldplay,
Did
and
you sing for him?
yeah, and then I see your name here. Wait a minute. Did I see her name wrong on the email? And I was literally looking on here, checking it out. No, it says Martin on there.
It does. Yeah.
So
Well, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here.
it's a privilege. I'm honored to have you guys on here. Especially, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is Haley's first ever podcast.
You called me
Yay!
out already.
So you know what that means, right?
Is there initiation of sorts?
She gets to be the bait.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Okay, I figured.
So anyway, you two have a show coming out now. It's already out actually, called The
yeah.
Other Side.
Yep.
Yes. We just released the pilot episode.
Tell us what's the show about? I'm curious.
So it's sort of a paranormal social experiment. Regina Blatt, who is a co-host with me, she had the idea to take people with different backgrounds and religions that already communicate with spirits and bring them all together as a group and see if we can work together to communicate and if we can get the same answers using different techniques or different methods. We had on the cast, we have a shaman, a Wiccan witch. We have our intuitive Haley, who is fantastic, by the way. Y'all check her out. We have a tarot card reader. And in upcoming episodes, we're always looking for anybody new and unique. So if you guys think that you might be a good fit, just shoot us a message on our Facebook or anything. But coming up, we have been talking with we have this really great bone thrower. Sorry, I said bone collector. I meant bone thrower. She's going to be on one of our episodes. We have this uh, psychic medium, crystal healer, tarot card reading, paranormal investigator, Sasquatch loving, high energy girl. She's amazing. Like, you guys are going to love her. And then we have a hoodoo practitioner and a voodoo practitioner. So we're looking for anybody. We're looking for a skeptic, someone who 100% does not believe. We're looking for anything. But we put all these people in the Missouri State Penitentiary and let them kind of investigate in their own way. And you'll just have to see it to find out what happens.
Well, I actually have a couple people in mind for you right now, just based off of that description. Um,
Nice.
one of them is actually this woman right here, Jan Lynn. She is
Okay.
actually a member of my team.
Oh, awesome.
A little bit about her.
She is an energy worker.
Okay.
And but let me tell you this, she gets deep into it. she really gets into that work, and let me tell you this: when when you're talking to her, it is like talking to somebody who has not just years of experience, but centuries of experience.
Right. And
That I have known her for what, Jan, 4 years now, something like that. Um, so she would definitely be somebody who I think would probably fit in with you.
awesome.
Um,
That sounds amazing.
and then
Well, like I
there's
said, we're definitely interested in talking to people with, different abilities and backgrounds.
there's another team that I'm pretty close with that's actually about an hour away.
Mhm.
They're called the Wicked Wiccan Sisters.
Okay.
They are everything Wiccan that you can possibly imagine.
Are they really sisters too?
Yes, they are.
Oh, that's
Nice.
even better.
Yeah.
How many of them?
Well, there's as far as the sisters themselves, there's two of them, but they actually have a group of I want to say 5, but the two main ones are actually sisters.
Okay.
And I
sisterhood comes in all different ways. It doesn't have to be blood.
yeah.
Well, the family ties with people who are gifted, though, like does play in. So I think it makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Because sometimes families embrace that natural talent.
Yep.
So
especially going from parent to kid, that is always very interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
I'm very curious when you mentioned bones. You said something about a bone thrower. I actually met somebody who does bone readings.
Okay.
Um,
Was it a male or a female?
she was a female.
Okay.
I met her at a convention a couple of years ago, and she has little tiny animal bones, and she puts them all in a bag and shakes them up and presents them and does read it that way. And I'm thinking, how the hell can you do all that?
So May is who is going to be joining us, and she was kind of given a description on one of her TikToks about how she does it, that she throws them and then she reads them in like certain patterns, the way that they like when she throws them, the way they fall. It's so unique because people just think, well, how do you get these teeny tiny bones? It's not necessarily always bones. It can just be like a small, I think she had like a small token of some sort at one point. So it's just whatever the ancestors, I guess felt, or she felt called to, or the ancestors led her to. So it's really unique, and I'm excited to have that and showcase that.
That is something you never see, especially on a TV show.
They're very hard to come by because I'll go to like spiritual expos and stuff, and I haven't met one in person that's a bone thrower. So I'm excited to just see what that's all about. And someone like, I love nerding out on any of this stuff, so explaining how it all works and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it really is. And I would like to see more of that. And Jan brought up a good point where people do tea leaves reading.
Yep.
And we're looking for someone like that too. So
yeah, I don't know if Jan does that. It wouldn't surprise me if she did. Jan, what don't you do?
What don't you do? I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of putting her on the spot now. So how did you two meet up? How did the other side come to be?
So Haley and I met, actually we worked together in Nashville, Tennessee at a bar. I was a manager, she was a bartender. And I always noticed that as kind and sweet as she just was always off doing her own little thing. And, we never really were super tight. We were friendly, but we were never tight. And when Regina came to me with this concept, she said, I think that we need to kind of come up with unique people. Literally the first person that popped into my mind was Haley. And I had not talked to Haley in probably 5 years. And I have no idea why her name popped in my head. I really think it was the universe saying, hey, get this chick. But I immediately just reached out to her on Facebook and I was like, hey, because I honestly didn't know, I didn't know what her gifts were. I didn't know if she was an intuitive. I honestly, wasn't sure if she was a practicing witch. I didn't know. I
The
just
first
knew.
thing she asked me is if I was a practicing witch.
Because
That was
I
the first thing she
got
asked
that
me.
vibe.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't mean to be weird, but are you? Because, I'm looking for someone. And she said, well, I'm actually a spiritual advisor and an intuitive. And then she starts telling me about this crazy thing that she has with electricity. And I was like, man, I need this chick. And so the rest was history. And let me tell you, when I invited her in, like, I was like, you come in as much as you want. And she was all the way in. She was like giving me ideas. She is the one that I call now when I don't understand or when I don't know something. I'm very early on in my spiritual journey. And if I don't know something, I reach out to Haley. She's just like this. She's got so much knowledge. So yeah, that's how
I'll say I'm a lifelong learner. So I'm always like just open to like things always are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always open. Like, I love just learning new things. And I love talking to like people that have mastered the craft of whether it's like bone throwing or tarot or whatever your niche is. Like, if you mastered that, it's like absolutely amazing and stuff. So, and before, yeah, it's really funny how we all met because when we did work at that bar, like I was known for the Healy girl. So I just, boop.
Do you know what Heelys are, Jared?
Wearing Heelys and stuff, doing my job, and also telling like that the guys, our security team, like, hey, like the folks upstairs, like the entities upstairs, they don't like guys. So because they mess with the security team all the time, they're fine with the bartenders and the girls and everything, but they would mess with the security team all the time. And Chris has video of some of the evidence she's caught too of the spirits that were in that bar. I don't even know how many years later, but we didn't know. We really disconnected for a really long time and didn't talk. And when she reached out to me and we were having this conversation, I just like, even though it's like TV, I was just I'm like, wait a minute, this woman's asking me to go on the most unique paranormal investigation ever. Hell yeah. How could I not say no? Like, especially if you're a fan of the paranormal, like I've always wanted to do that kind of work too, just the paranormal investigations. And I always love learning like haunted history or something. So
that's really the best way to go about it. When in something like this, it is ever changing. So you are always going to be, even after you mastered a certain things with this particular field,
always learning.
Yeah, you're always going to be learning. You're going to find new ways, new everything, really.
Yeah.
And I learned that because Scott Wilson here, who is actually the guy that came up with the 13th Dimension show.
Oh, nice.
Yes. He's actually the reason why this show even exists to begin with. So okay, so you've already released your pilot episode.
Yes.
And you have actually gotten it to some pretty prominent places from what I've seen.
We currently have it streaming on Paraflix, and we have it available for purchase on Amazon Prime Video. For you can get the SD for 99 cents or the HD for $1.99. But we are independent. We are self-funded, self-produced. So we're excited to have gotten it this far. That's for sure.
Just to be accepted by Prime, that is a hell of a feat.
Yes.
Because it wasn't that long ago when I see messages popping up left and right saying Amazon was getting rid of so many different shows because
Right.
up to quality that they expect. So for you two to be accepted by them, that's saying something.
Right.
Yeah. And you can really tell like the quality of the show we produce. Like, even though we're new to the game, we are.
Yeah.
But the quality and seeing everybody's talents from like in front of the screen and behind the screen
Yeah.
has been like transformative. And I've learned so much from like watching and seeing like where everybody's like creative space is in their headspace, and just seeing everybody come into their own with like individual projects that they've done to help produce this. It's
Yeah.
been really a wonderful learning experience, and I'm just proud to be a part of this. I was like just satisfied with going on the show, but like all the education that I gained from just being a part of this has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's definitely been an amazing journey so far.
So right now you've only done one episode.
Right.
Do you have any other places that you've already filmed at but haven't put together yet?
Not yet. So once we got it on Amazon Prime and Paraflix, we were like, once we start receiving money back from that, we can start filming more episodes. We didn't realize that it takes probably like 6 months before you start seeing any money. It's just one of those things where it takes, every 30 days, then they have to process it, which takes another 30 days. And then it could be another 90 to however long before you see the money. And I didn't realize this going into it. It wouldn't have changed my mind either way. So what we're doing right now is we have some things planned to gain some new viewers, hopefully get some interest in the show, as well as raise some funds so that we can film a full season. We want to do 8 episodes, and I have the locations chosen, but I can't share them with the cast because part of the really interesting thing about it is that we don't tell them where we're going because we don't want them to have the opportunity to do any research. We want everything to happen naturally, organically, and in the moment. We don't want them to be able to know anything, any kind of history for where they're going to be. So unfortunately, they don't get to know, but I do.
I know something you know.
It's exactly like that.
I can just about imagine. Oh man, where is she taking me now? You get there now. I see that Regina is putting up Missouri State Penitentiary.
She's putting the link to the show in case anybody was wanting to go check it out. Regina there that you guys see, Regina Blatt, she is the concept creator. She is the brilliant behind The Other Side. She has been very, very heavily involved, from helping plan to helping cast. And this was obviously an amazing idea that she gave me. And I'm so excited that she trusted me with it. And I hope that we do her right.
So is she just behind the scenes, or is she also on camera?
She is on camera. She's actually the co-host. The first episode, I kind of led the first night. She kind of led the second night. She's pretty big. Hi, Regina.
Hey, girl.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah, this is, it's our show, but none of it would have been possible without Regina bringing that idea to the table.
You always got to have that one person with the idea.
Yep.
So Regina is for you like what Scott was for me.
There you go.
He's the reason I'm even doing podcasts, because I never thought I would ever do anything like that before. I've been a guest several times, but the idea of doing my own show never entered my mind until he popped in. And it's like, hey, come on, let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, and Regina, I did forget to mention, she also is a paranormal investigator on the show. I said that earlier. I just didn't say it then. Yeah, she's been doing this for about 10 years, maybe 11 now. I can't remember, but she's very experienced and seasoned in this, and she has a lot of knowledge. And she's been to a lot of cool places too.
Oh,
She did the Conjuring with Kesha show too.
She did, yeah. I forgot to mention that too. Yeah, she did the. I don't know if you ever saw Conjuring, Kesha's TV show Conjuring with Kesha. Regina was on. I think it was season 1, episode 2 of that. She was doing investigations out of a location in Pulaski, Tennessee, and so they filmed there, and she was on that episode.
I remember hearing about that show, but I've never seen it. But I heard a lot of feedback about it. But to be perfectly honest, I don't really watch a lot of shows these days. Because, like I said, I don't do streaming apps, and 90% of all the shows out there are
on streaming apps.
Yeah. So when people ask me, "Hey, have you seen this new show?" 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
and I don't mean that to be a slight to anybody. It's just that they're on something that's currently not really available to me.
Right. And I mean, I probably shouldn't admit it either, but I don't watch a lot of shows. There's some that I do watch that I have watched in the past. I think for me, the reason that I don't is just because obviously I'm biased our show now. I don't know. I do believe 100% that a lot of the evidence that they gain is real and authentic, but I also do believe some of it is exaggerated. And I think that that's the one thing that we said from the beginning with our show is we're not going to make anything up. Nothing will be exaggerated. We're not going to, make some noise and pretend like a ghost did it. It's just whatever happens. We know that if we go into a building and sit for 8 hours and nothing happens, that's just part of being an investigator. So we want to show all of that part. We don't want anything to be fake.
That's really the way it should be.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are some people that don't share that sentiment.
Yeah.
I can see the wheels turning in your head.
That's enough of that
We don't
topic.
know what's up. We know. We don't have to say anymore.
So as investigators, you mentioned that Regina's been investigating for 10, 11 years. How long have you two been investigating?
For me, it's been about 8 years. And I started with Regina. I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I didn't know anybody, and I'd been there for a little over a year and needed to make some more friends besides the people from work. And I reached out on some website, and she messaged me back, and we met up, and the rest is history.
For me, I probably would say about 3 years. More so just because I don't have anyone to go with. Like,
we all live away from each other.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's really hard to find people that are just interested enough to actually like go and take the action to go investigate, like, and do that with me. And I'm just but I'll go do some things. Like, me and my husband will go do some things. So we've investigated like a place here in Colorado, or a couple places actually. A little bit. Yes, sir. Currently now. But I'm originally from Nashville.
Are you around the Denver area?
Colorado Springs.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I actually went to Colorado Springs just last year to go to Canyon City.
All right.
Yeah. One of my last investigations that I've done is at the Holy Cross Abbey in Canyon City. And that was actually... Jan was actually with me on that one. We had a big event. The one that really put everything together is a Things of Colorado chapter, Adrian, and she lives up in Greeley.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I lived in Colorado for a little while too. I didn't live too far from Greeley.
Okay, so Yeah, so this is really interesting. I can actually put you in touch with a bunch of people because I know people in Colorado. Jan knows people in Colorado. So we can actually get you in touch with some
I would
people.
love that because I would like to do more investigations, but um but like I'm kind of a solo writer most of the time just
Yeah.
because it just freaks people out. And I'll do things myself, or sometimes what I'll do is like maybe I'll do like a haunted tour, but I would read before they tell me more information about the history of whatever the location is. I try to like just let my body intuitively like read the space or what happens, and then it's kind of like a game for me and a practice for me when I do this as I do the tour, and I can pick up like where a situation may have happened, or I might adapt a mannerism that people who have passed away maybe in that space. So like at the Stanley Hotel, we were doing a tour, and I chose, pardon?
That is such a beautiful place.
Oh, it's absolutely. But one of the things I did was like I sat a certain way that I didn't know. I was being intuitive without realizing, which I do fairly often. It's just so natural to me. But I sat in a certain area in a certain way and did something like with my body in a very particular that the women at that time used to do back in history while the men played pool. But I wouldn't know that till the historian would do that because they take a little time waiting for everybody to come into the room and everything and, take it all in. So that's kind of how like I get to practice with myself and then get that validation because I don't like to look up the history of things before I go there. And then the history, and then what you find there's so much information on the internet. It could be overwhelming sometimes too. So it just makes it fun and it makes it challenging. So that way I can kind of like just do these little intuitive challenges on myself. So I actually want to investigate Gold Camp Road, the tunnels here in Colorado Springs. Once we get our Jeep fixed and take some of the ghost boxes up there and try to have a conversation because it's one of the most haunted locations here in Colorado Springs that I've heard of.
What's it called?
Gold Camp Road.
Gold Camp Road. Okay.
Yeah. So if you take like Helen Hunt Falls, the road up there, it turns into Gold Camp Road and you go through these tunnels. And it's
nice. Okay.
It's on the side of the mountain. It's the view's gorgeous, night or day. So
Jan has heard of Gold Camp.
It's insane, she says.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so
I love it. I hope you and Jan are able to hook up. I hope Jan is.
Yeah, that'd be a really cool little side quest or something.
Yes.
I will definitely put you in touch with some of our people out there in that area. I know you're going to love working with Jan. Chris, where are you at?
I'm in Dallas area, the Dallas, Texas area.
You live in the Big D.
I live in the Big D. Like I was born in Big D. I left and moved to Nashville for about 7 years. Then I moved to Colorado for a little while. And then I came back home when COVID hit. You know what? I'm not settled. I don't have roots. I'll go wherever.
It's funny. It's funny that you would admit that. Shut up. It's funny. Guys messaging me about something on wrestling. He must not know I'm doing a show tonight. This is not usually my normal night to do one. It's funny that you would mention that because we were having a ball talking about the Big D last night on Supernatural Talk. We were talking about the song "I'm Going Through the Big D" and don't mean Dallas. Do you know that one?
Yes.
I can't think of who sings it, but it is so fun. We had such a blast talking about it because we was talking about everything that started with a D. So just imagine where that show went.
I
know. But Dallas is such a long city to drive through.
Yes.
Because you got Dallas, and then you have Arlington that seems to be tucked away somewhere that you can't see from the interstate. And then you
So
have,
I'm actually south of Dallas. You've probably never heard of where I am. I'm in Midlothian, but I'm not far from Dallas or Arlington.
okay. So
Yeah.
you're on the other side of 20, I think it is.
Yes.
Okay.
South of 20.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to remember because when I went to El Paso a few years ago, we went through this series of going Interstate 30 to 20 to 10.
Okay. Oh, to go to El Paso. Okay. Yeah. See, I haven't been that way.
Yeah. And you keep freezing on me.
I do.
Yeah. Do you see that, Haley?
A little bit.
Yeah.
There,
But so far, your audio is fine. Just the video freezes up every now and then. So okay.
Sorry.
So you're Colorado, you're Texas, but the place you
Yes.
filmed in is Missouri.
correct.
How
Yes,
did that happen?
That's right.
How did that happen?
When I was trying to find a place to film, I mean, I looked everywhere. I wanted something that was easy enough for people to travel to. Like, I knew that we were going to have to drive and carry equipment. I knew that our director of photography, JJ Brent, who, by the way, we haven't mentioned him or Alexander Cruz, and they're amazing. When she was talking about the stuff that they did, like the editing, the editing, the quality of it, it's just fantastic. These guys put so much time into it. But they were coming from Nashville as well. And I knew I needed to find a location that was kind of a decent enough distance from both of us that it wasn't going to cause a problem for travel. I ended up choosing Missouri because my grandmother and my mother were born and raised there. And so it was a little bit like, being close to my grandmother who passed away a few years ago.
Coming back home.
Yeah.
I like that. Robin is asking if there are any major haunted spots in southern Texas.
In southern Texas, I'm not too terribly familiar. I did see her message. I'm not too terribly familiar, but Robin, you and I should link up after this because I would love to come and investigate with someone. I have people up here that I investigate with, but I want to get out of the Dallas area. So you and I should possibly link up and see if we can't find some of those haunted spots in southern Texas to go to. I have a few in mind, but I think that we could have some fun, and especially if you have some ideas as well.
There is a place somewhere in that area. I don't know exactly where, but I've heard of it. It's called Goatman Bridge.
Well, no, I've heard of Goatman Bridge, but I think that's up north, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I just know it's somewhere around Dallas, and
I think it's Denton area. Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly it has some sort of a demonic entity attached to this bridge. Supposedly.
Yeah.
You know how kids are when they come up with stories and stuff like that. It's because the very first story starts out, hey, I'm going to go check out this car. And by the time it gets past the 100th person, I bought a Rolls Royce. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of places down in South Texas, but I'm pretty sure Goatman Bridge is not terribly far from me. Definitely something I have on my list, but there's actually, when I planned for filming, I was looking for location or for either a location that was like maybe a prison or an old hospital that had like multiple buildings. That way we could kind of split everybody up a little bit. And if I couldn't find that, then I was looking for towns that had multiple places, where we could just be close enough to still split everybody up. They weren't in the same location, but they were at least within short driving distance. And that's the reason that I remember the bridge was because I was looking at that and a couple of other buildings up there. So it's not one that we decided on for the first season. That's why I can talk about it. But it is something that I did look into.
Well, if you ever get to thinking that you would like to go out a little further than just safe driving distance, so that it doesn't hurt the pocket, if like getting a little more closer to the eastern seaboard, I've got a couple places in mind that I could give to you.
Absolutely. I'm definitely open to ideas. Our goal is to, we're going to start doing some fundraising, and hopefully we have allotted enough to cover for flights in case we're going somewhere further out. Because we don't want to just limit ourselves to, only the few in the South that, have probably already been done on TV. We want to be open to going anywhere. So I would love to hear those ideas.
Yeah, I'm thinking of 3 different places right now that I could send you to, and let you all have a little fun and try to figure stuff out. But I am not going to promise that you won't get attacked by bats. I'm not going to promise you that.
Bats don't bother us.
Uh,
Lee says it perfectly well. He says the living scare him more than the dead. I'm more scared of humans than I am bats or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I've said for a number of years too. I'm more afraid of the living than I am of the dead, because the dead can't harm you that much.
Absolutely. I'm funny about bats, but that's just because I had one in my house for 4 days that it was just like a cartoon. Trying to catch it, it would escape, catch it again, it would escape. So actually it was like a couple weeks before we filmed for the other side, and during when the filming we're like doing our little thing, I was like got out of the chair and everything. I don't know if Chris wasn't there for that part, but the bats were flying around in the prison. And so when they were in my home, they were like in my living room. It's not like there was a closed space, and my husband was deployed. So I had a whole so I was traumatized. I'm like trying to protect my dogs, like trying to get this bat out of my house. Like I caught it twice by myself, but it kept escaping. So I was like knocked over a chair in the middle of filming because the bats were getting really close to our little like circle thing we were doing. So
I've actually felt the wind from the wing of a bat one time years ago. That gets unsettling.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm a hairstylist too, and I know my hair probably smells like something, so they might be attracted to it. So I'm always thinking they're going to get me.
Well, from what I hear, when it comes to bats, you don't want to duck, because they have that sense where they're going to automatically move away from you if they're coming at you. I don't think it necessarily works all the time, because I once had a person on the team who actually got hit in the head with a bat that was flying around. So I don't know how it didn't see him.
See, and that's the thing. I just don't want to risk it getting stuck in my hair like that. So
Yeah, I don't know what it is with bats, but I would be one of those people that would be doing the ducking, even though I know I
yeah.
So holy cow. I cannot believe we are already 3/4 of through. It's like I'm having a conversation with old friends that I literally just met you to exactly an hour.
It's Haley. I'm telling you, it's Haley. Like she does that. Like I get on the phone with her and I completely forget like how much time has gone by. We just talk for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just randomly about nothing. It's Haley. She does that.
There you go, Haley. You're the glue. So on the other side, at least with the first episode, how many on-camera folks do you have?
So we have Regina and Lee, who are the paranormal investigators. Then we have Haley. We have Steve, our shaman, Colleen, our Wiccan, and then we have Scarlett, who is the tarot reader. And then myself, who in this particular pilot, since it's out, it's not a big deal to talk about. I actually got very sick. So I was only there at the beginning of the first night. And then unfortunately, I had to go straight back to the hotel.
Now with that, you said you got sick.
Yes.
Is it because of what was going on at the building, or just like food poisoning or whatever?
So I had been sick leading up to the week before filming. I got a very, very bad cold and was just miserably sick. But because I was, nobody was allowed to be involved in anything at the time, I was doing it all by myself. So I was kind of running on it, running on fumes. And by the time that we made it to Missouri, we still had so much that had to be done before we filmed. And I had had very little sleep. So the very first night, the groups split up, and the intention was that I was going to join each group. I was going to go back and forth between the groups and kind of talk to them and ask questions and really engage them and get them to talk a little bit about what they're doing and stuff like that. While they were getting set up in the very first, it would have been right after we split up to go film the first night. Myself and one of the production assistants decided to go down to the dungeons and do a little bit of investigating of our own. And while we were down there, and I'm also going to add, I didn't plan it out as far as when we filmed. I chose to film in August, which is ridiculously hot. And so that added to it as well. We were in the basement. I didn't feel good. We were getting a little bit of activity with the REM meter that we were using. And I just said, we need to go back upstairs. I don't feel good. And the very next night was when everybody else was kind of doing some stuff. And they had no clue what happened the night before. They only knew that I wasn't there. They just knew that I was sick. They did not know that I had been down in the dungeons and got sick. And then they went down there, and there were some things that happened down there. So if you're asking me, do I think that something happened to be in the dungeons? I think that I was sick physically, and I was vulnerable, and I went down there, and it just sort of maybe made it worse. I don't think it was 100% that I was just like overcome by a spirit. I think I just, being down in there in that situation with all that negative energy, the dark energy, and then already being sick, I think my body just couldn't handle it, both, physically and mentally. So,
and also the environment, because this is an abandoned jail, more or less. So there's probably something in that area that's leaking out into the environment. Like lead or asbestos,
right?
Like that. So maybe
So I
I
didn't look at it as a spirit made me sick or anything. I just kind of thought it was sort of a little bit of everything and chalked it up to that.
caught up with you.
Yes, it did.
I can speak from experience, because I'm sort of the same way. I tend to handle everything myself. I do have other members on the team that do take care of certain things, but like you, I just kind of handle everything myself, and it gets to you sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I won't be doing that going forward. That was a little bit of me trying to make sure that everything was perfect and in control. And I learned that's not the way to do it. You got to have help. So trust me when I say that since I've left there, every single person on the cast has said, how can I help? Everybody on the crew has said, what do you need? And I am taking full advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So with this now you're bringing in so many people from different areas, different beliefs, and a lot of times when you have something like that, a lot of people are so close-minded by what they do, and they don't even consider the possibility that this person, what they're doing, can actually be legit. It's like, no, they're just doing something stupid.
Yeah.
How was the chemistry with the people on your team? How was that?
I'm going to tell you, I was extremely surprised at how well everybody got along and how everybody worked together. I mean, I think there was one scene where Regina and Steve were disagreeing on whether or not the girls should go back down into the basement. But that's literally the only, any sort of negative, any animosity or any disagreements between them was just that one moment. And I think it was just both of them being so passionate about what they believed, and they didn't even argue. They respectfully talked back and forth about it. But, you could tell that they were both very firm in their beliefs and their opinions. But other than that, I mean, watching them work together, and then even since filming, everybody talks about doing different things and collaborating together. And it's really been interesting to see that, because I'm someone who grew up thinking that, you have all your different beliefs and religions, and they don't mesh.
Like an oil water situation.
Yes. And then it's like Steve said, Steve is our shaman. And it's like he said one day, and I use this phrase every time I can, we're blurring those lines. We are literally bringing people who wouldn't in other circumstances think about joining forces for something. And we're bringing them together and allowing them to work together, but still use their own individual gifts and beliefs. And, for someone like me who doesn't know necessarily what she believes in or what she feels, this is the perfect way to gain that knowledge, because you're with so many different people and you can ask questions. And that's what I loved about it. Is I never thought that getting this group together would do what it has done, at least for me, but for other people involved. I mean, it's really, everybody is starting to bond in an amazing way, and I love it.
This is a really, really unique idea, because all you ever hear, and I'm guilty of this too, all you ever hear is about getting people with like-minded ideas. You're doing basically the exact opposite of it, and it's working.
Yep. And we're letting them push their boundaries a little bit, and we're, it really is. We're asking them to trust people that they wouldn't ordinarily trust, to do this, and to be in an abandoned building where there's, different spirits.
We really create a community out of it, like not meaning to or knowing that we would do this, where we actually have like long-term friendships. Like we have connections with each other now, and we knew nothing about each other until this show, like on site. So
I really like this idea. Definitely really want to keep in touch with both of you.
Well, we would love that. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, we are so happy to be here. This has been fun. And we love the interaction with the followers, the viewers. We love that right now. I'm excited.
Yeah, because we got differences in our people as well. Like Robin, she is more a lot into the metaphysics. She does tarot reading. She at one time, Robin, I think, was on a witch team. I don't know if she still is or not. And then Jan with all of the energy work that she does. The one that Haley you need to meet, aside from Jan, is Adrian. She's the one that lives in Greeley, and she's been working on mediumship. And she's still learning herself. And in fact, Jan had been working with her. The other people have been as well. But I think what I need to do is to get you two on my other show, Supernatural Talk, which is on Thursday nights. This is where you would be able to meet the other members of things as well.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely open and growing. Like, I just love growing, like, just a community of like, if you're into the paranormal and the superstitious and the metaphysical, like, just growing that community and is amazing. And it's a beautiful thing, especially in times like this. So, and just, I think the more that we like express it and show how welcoming it is for people that are just willing to learn,
Yeah.
I think a lot of beautiful things can come out of it.
That's how you gotta be. You gotta be willing to learn. Otherwise, you're not going to understand what the other person is doing. And if you don't understand what they're doing, it's very easy to resent what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
And if that person succeeds on a certain level, then that resentment it goes right out the door.
Yep.
Wow. So, Creep Street Productions.
Yes.
Whose baby is that?
That's mine.
That is yours.
That is mine.
I am going to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
When I first got your email and I saw Creep Street Productions, the first thing that popped into my mind was try saying that 5 times fast. So tell me about that Creep Street.
So I am a big fan of back roads. And when I say back roading, I mean, I'm 50 years old and I will still get in my car and drive at 1:00 in the morning down.
What'd you say?
I'll get in my car and drive down any street.
No, right before that.
Oh, I'm 50.
You're 50.
I'm 50. I have grandchildren.
I'm calling bullshit on that one.
I swear, I just had my 50th birthday January 9th.
Damn. Okay.
Thanks.
Like
I'm a big kid at heart, but one of the favorite things that I have always done, and actually when Haley and I worked at the bar, that's kind of where the back road started. My security team, when we got off work, one of us would stay sober and drive, and the rest of us would drink in the truck, and we would just go back roading. And it sort of become this thing where it's like, to me, I know it seems really creepy for somebody to just be kind of rolling down this road. My favorite place to go was the Natchez Trace Parkway in Nashville. And I would just drive it. I would get off work. That was my way to unwind. And I know people thought it was weird. And I don't know, it just kind of felt when they were like, I was trying to come up with a clever name. And I was like, you know what, that really fits who I am, So that's how it came. And I will tell you, I love this networking thing because Haley and I have been talking about a different show that we want to do that's more supernatural. We want to bring a couple of other people in on that, but so I love this networking thing that we're doing because I really think we have some good ideas.
Are you looking at just doing actual shows, or are you thinking about getting into the podcast world?
I actually have considered getting into a podcast. We talked about doing one for the show, and then just one as a unit. That is also something that, we can consider doing as well. But this one in particular, for me, we want to kind of do some exploring of all things, supernatural, metaphysical. We're talking about, Sasquatch, aliens, mermaid, fairy. I mean, we just really want to dive into any and all things that people don't necessarily believe in. Or, by the way, thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. She said, "Girl, you look good." Yeah, so we want to dive into all of that.
I never guessed that you were 50. I wouldn't have even said 30.
Thank you.
I would have even said 30.
Thank you. But yeah, so we want to be more involved and get to know more people because like me, this was something that it took me 40 years to feel comfortable to start saying there's something different about me, but I don't know what it is. And I don't want anybody to ever say, well, I can't, be open about the fact that I believe in aliens or the fact that I believe in Sasquatch or the fact that I believe in mermaids, because people might look down on me or might judge me. I want everybody to know that, believe in it, and we're going to help give you a reason to support your belief,
Okay. I am looking for both of you on Facebook. Okay, let's see here. Now, are you going by Marie or Martin?
Chris Marie.
Okay.
Yes, Chris Marie. Martin is just my legal name.
Holy cow! There's 1,000 Chris Maries.
No.
Okay, Haley, let's find you.
Just find Haley and then look through her stuff, and I'm tagged in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think you're like in the first post on my page too.
I'm already seeing about 10 Haley Starks on there too.
I have green hair.
You have green hair?
Yeah. In my profile photo, and there's a dog in the background.
Yeah,
My
let's
Lily
see.
girl.
Pennsylvania, Florida, Iowa, Florida,
Jeremy, what's your last name? I'll look you up.
York, Yoik. My profile picture is actually from behind me, and I'm typing on my keyboard.
Oh, yeah, same thing. Oh, there you are. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, just send me friend request there, and we will definitely keep in touch. And I am also for sure going to get you two on Supernatural Talk, because you are really going to want to talk to Adrian. You're going to want to talk to Nick Mulay. Nick Mulay is who everybody calls Nikipedia. So
Okay.
that can just about tell you what what he knows. And then we also have Eileen Jones, who is in Mississippi.
Okay.
Fabulous. I love nerding out on all this stuff.
Oh yeah, and these are three wonderful people that you're going to want to talk to as well, because they all have different unique ideas, ways of doing things. So I think you two would especially enjoy being on Supernatural Talk.
Nice. Well, I do think that, that was Regina's plan, is to bring these people together to do all these things. And I think it's working. I don't know about y'all, but Regina, I think it's working.
I think it's working too.
Yeah.
Because I really like this idea that you're doing with this show, because a lot of people, they always want to get new people in on things, and me, I love experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
I actually brought the dog whistle into the paranormal field, and a lot of people use it now.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Just don't ever use it outside, because you will.
Nope. I know why.
Yeah, I never thought I would have to tell anybody not to use it outside, but turns out I do.
Well, the natives, Native Americans, they say don't be whistling outside.
Well, with the Native Americans, I also had the death whistle.
Oh, that is terrifying. Have you heard of that, Chris?
No, I haven't. That's one of those things. Haley busts out with this stuff all the time. So I know when I hear something I'm not familiar with, immediately stop and say, fill me in, because I don't know. So what is a death whistle?
A death whistle is actually something that was used way back in ancient times, the ancient Indians. Just having one is scary enough, but when you have 100 of them, it sounds like you got a stampede of 1,000 Indians coming your way.
Oh, wow.
It's like psychological warfare that they would use. So they would do it in the middle of the night, and it just sounds like an animal screaming and people screaming, like
holy hell.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I have not used it on an investigation yet, because when I do my experiments, I try to make sure that it's under controlled conditions. And when it comes to the death whistle, I haven't quite been able to knock down a controlled situation. I take it with me, but the only time I've ever actually blow into it has been here in the house.
Chris, he might be him, and maybe Steve can, because Steve has that native background. He's our shaman in the show. He might can help guide you in the proper way to experiment with that without getting yourself into too much trouble.
Yeah, because I've done a couple of locations that used to be Indian burial grounds. We actually have a place that's about 45 minutes from where I live. It's called 13 Curves, and it's a back road. And the reason it's called 13 Curves is that it dead ends on both sides, and there are 13 curves on this street.
Really?
And right in the middle of it, it goes through a patch of woods that is so overgrown that it forms a tunnel.
Ooh.
You go through that.
Sounds like my kind of hangout.
Yeah.
It actually is a pretty cool place to be. I've been there 3 times now. And each time something has happened, not to me, but to somebody that was with me. I took my ex-girlfriend over there the last time, and she started almost getting physically sick from about the second curve away from that patch. We only stayed there for about 20 minutes, and then when we left, she started feeling better. So there was something about that area that she did not like. Another one, Scott Smith, one of my teammates, there were 4 of us there. And we started walking up and down the tunnel here. And I know we're over time, but I don't care. This is my network.
I do what I want at my show.
Yeah. Well, I can take liberties.
Yeah.
I don't.
So I'm enjoying myself.
I am too.
And normally I would insist on stopping at an hour, but I'm having a good time right now.
I know, I am too. And I'm so excited. Haley's having a good time.
Oh, always. My favorite subjects, guys.
So Scott stayed at the car, and me and the other 2, we just started walking down this tunnel, and we get almost to the other side. And then all of a sudden we hear my car start. I left my keys in the car, but I turned off the engine, and we hear it start. The headlights come up, and Scott is driving the car up to us. And we're like, Scott, are you ready to go? And, no, somebody was behind the car shaking the trunk up and down.
Oh.
Really? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
See what's going on.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would terrify me. That would freak me out.
Well, and Scott, see, he's the ninja of our team. He's the guy that you can't scare. He was rattled that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, places like that. So that's more like a well, when I do my case log classification, I call that open location, but it in a way is also a form of urban exploration as well. Things like that. So I think that if you were to ever come up to the Fort Wayne, Indiana area, that would be a place for you to go to.
So I actually, I have on my list of places that I've been looking into a location in Indiana, and I will have to get with you and see if it's anywhere close to you. It's not something that we're 100% set on for the first season, but we're still looking into it and trying to see if we can make it work. So that would be kind of interesting.
Well, I do have a location in Indiana for you that I would consider a must.
Okay.
And I have a city that I would give you as something to at least check out. Not necessarily a location, but multiple locations within 4 city blocks.
Okay, awesome.
That would be a good way to take your people and split them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, anybody out there have any questions? We got 6 viewers.
Hey guys.
And not a lot of chatter, so speak up. If you got any questions for these ladies here, let us know. Don't let me be the one holding the bag. But no, seriously, this is really cool. And I have to get you 2 on to Supernatural Talk. You're definitely going to enjoy yourselves on that show. So many different points of view on that one, but everything just gels.
Right.
Nice.
I think you two would fit in very, very well. And if you ever do consider doing a podcast, if I've got the room on the network schedule, I'd be more than happy to give you a spot.
Awesome.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because we got about 30 shows on this network.
Okay, so I want to ask a question. Jan, did I read that you're also in Texas?
She's in New Mexico.
Oh, she's in New Mexico. Okay. I thought she was.
Robin is in Texas.
Robin is in Texas. We're going to, I thought I read something in there that said maybe she was, or she knew about Texas. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
And Jan is in New Mexico. Now, see, New Mexico is somewhere we haven't investigated yet. Or at least I haven't. So you'll have to tell us, Jan, if there's some places there.
Yeah, so she just says she's in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Adrian used to live in New Mexico, and she's definitely somebody that when you get Adrian and Jan together, you're done. That's pretty much it. So
is it a good time?
It is a good time, I'll tell you that. So yeah, it's been great having you two on this show and learning about the concept of it. It's so unique.
Yeah.
It's so unique from everything else out there, because everything that's been out there, they try to pass it off as something different, but it seems to be like your cookie cutter paranormal show anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This here is like you really are doing something different.
Yeah.
We need, because you're bringing in different people with different beliefs.
Right.
And on paper, it sounds like a good idea. And also on paper, it sounds like a terrible idea.
No, we can agree with you on that.
Yeah, but the application of this, the way that it sounds like, is turning out very, very well. So I'm glad for that. I cannot wait to see this.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're about to start. We have some things going on where we're going to be fundraising to try and get at least 4 episodes filmed here pretty quick, at least before the summer, so that we're not doing it in the middle of summer again. Everybody's all hot and sweaty and red faced. And I have to say something. We love our pilot. We are so proud of what we put together, because none of us had ever done anything like this before, and we absolutely love it. And the communicating that we've done since then, just as a group, we've realized so many missed opportunities that we had. We cannot wait to start this, to film another episode, because we're going to be doing a little bit more than what you saw on the show. You're going to see a little bit more of each person's individualized gifts. With Colleen, who is our Wiccan, she has something she's going to do in the beginning. She's going to do a ritual in the beginning, and you'll get to see that. And I think that it's really important to show those kind of things for the people who don't understand that just because someone is a Wiccan, it doesn't mean they're bad. Let her show you exactly what it is she does, and you're going to see she does the same thing you do. She's just called something different. It's literally, everything is so similar that, I really feel like when people start watching it, they're going to start feeling a connection to somebody, whether it's Haley, whether it's Steve, whether it's Colleen. I really feel like they're going to be, that's me. And I never knew that was me, or that's how I feel. And I just never knew that. That's how it's been for me. And I hope that it's like that for so many other people.
I'm excited to open connections up too, just to just bring together more communities and stuff, especially where you don't know if what you're people aren't that familiar with their neighbors anymore. Imagine what more can come out of when you just merge people together from these different backgrounds. What we can bring and offer.
Days when you used to have the back fence gossips in the neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah. On the show, do each of you people have a minute or two to actually explain what they do and why they do what they do on the show? that way so that the viewers can understand what they do?
We didn't in the pilot, and that was something that we looked back on and we realized it was a missed opportunity. You know, and that's why I said going forward, we want to make sure that that happens so that if anybody does have questions, you know, maybe they'll be answered without even us trying. We really do want to give everybody the opportunity to showcase their own individual skills and gifts. Unfortunately, we missed that we did get a little bit of it in the pilot. Like I thought it was unique that Steve was using a little bit of like kinesiology when he was doing his with the fingers. I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, I've never seen that before. But yeah, we have a little bit of being able to see that and see where people's gifts come into play. But I think moving forward, I love the paranormal side of it, obviously, because I am a paranormal investigator, but I also do want to spend a little bit more time focusing on the social aspect of it as well. So hopefully in the next few episodes, I think that we're going to be seeing a lot more of everybody's individual skills and talents.
The way that I see it is that when you look at the paranormal is just one big umbrella, and section is something different, you know, with the Wiccans and the metaphysics, the tarots, the investigations,
Yes.
the psychics, the mediums, the exorcists, and then your psychos. Because you gotta have those people. But it's just all one big umbrella, one big spectrum.
Right.
So it looks like that you're trying to tackle all of that, or at least a good percentage of that.
It's
And
really hard to encompass just like everything that this show's offering in like a 45 minutes. So correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, that we're going to elongate the episodes and show like more of the unique individuals, but also more of the evidence that we've collected.
Yes.
We have amazing evidence where it works.
tell me
Really
you're going to
well.
have a blooper reel.
What's that?
Tell me you're going to have a blooper reel.
We talked about it. We honestly thought we would, but this was our first time. And I think everybody was more like stressed. And I don't think anybody really, I don't think there were a lot of very funny moments. However, I mean, between, me getting sick and, everything else going on, it was just more of a it was just a more serious environment this time. But we also didn't know each other, and so there was a little bit of, you're still trying to get to know everybody and warm up to everybody. And you kind of don't know, are these the kind of people that you can joke around with? Now, I will say this, JJ should probably make a blooper reel. In the beginning, when I was trying to read the greetings or speak the greeting to the cast, I don't remember how many times we had to record it because I kept forgetting my lines. I was like, good evening. and then I would get further down into it. And I'm like, crap, I messed up. And Ben, the director, was like,
right there.
I know. And Ben's like, don't apologize. Just keep going. Because I kept saying, I'm sorry. He's like, don't apologize. Just keep going because we can clip and move things around. So, yeah, somebody should make a blooper reel of that because that was nonsense.
Maybe do a blooper reel after you've done all the episodes of the first season.
Yeah, there you go.
Do like an like an extra, maybe not necessarily a full episode, but do like maybe a round table of everybody and talk about your experiences and then share all the funny stories of what you've done over these. I think you said 8 episodes you're looking to do.
Well, we're looking to do, a full season of 8 episodes just for the first season to see how it goes. That's what our goal is. If we can raise the money. But and then from there, we're hoping, that maybe Amazon Prime or somebody will say, we love your show so much, we want to pay for it. We absolutely love our partnerships with Paraflix and Amazon Prime. They're very gracious to let us, host our show there. We just we can't afford it much longer.
One of them deals.
No.
if nothing else, you've got YouTube where you can be able to monetize there as well.
That is true. That is true. And that was something we looked into.
Yeah. Next week on Supernatural Talk, I won't be on it, but my other three will. And they're going to be having two guys from Louisiana, I think. And they do their own show called Spirit Guides.
Okay.
Cool.
And that is strictly on YouTube, I think. And
Okay.
they've been 3 or 4 seasons. They've been on the show a couple times before. They want to come back on again. So they're coming on this week. So I would encourage you to come into the audience and listen to them, see what they've done, see if maybe some of the practices that they talk about that you might be able to integrate into yours and see how it works out for you.
Yeah, I will absolutely definitely try to come up with it.
Here's one of them. Here's Adrian. She's one of the 3 hosts, one of the
Hi,
4
Adrian.
on Supernatural Talk. So she'll be one that you will have to deal with when I get you onto the show. But you two are going to have so much fun on that one.
Nice.
Anyway, we're 20 past the hour. Probably a good time to go ahead and end the show. But damn, I've had a great time having you two on here.
It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you for making it like really comfortable and stuff too for my first one. So I really appreciate that.
Well, I was actually kind of worried because I knew nothing about you two, and I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to do an hour show? And here we are, almost an hour and a half later.
Yeah, see, this is what happens. Like when you get Haley and I together, we just talk and talk and talk and
Have that effect on people.
And you know what? I am perfectly fine with that. Let you two keep doing the talking. I can shut up, show on the show.
No, I love learning about people and learning like what they're into. I really hope to hear about the death whistle experiment.
Oh,
and
yeah.
get into that more and everything. So
Well, I haven't experimented with that, but the dog whistle,
Yeah.
that I have been experimenting with for 4 years
you have a
now.
link for that because please send me that. I want to see how that works. I love experiments. I'm just into it. So
Well, I'll
try
tell you
this.
what. If you two want to hang around after the show is over, I can explain the whole.
Yeah.
process to you
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I've had. Okay. So with that, Adrian and Rich, thank you two for tuning in. Only that we're getting ready to go off. Meanwhile, I don't know when the next episode of 13th Dimension will be on. It's going to be a little while because I am not going to feel like it. However, I am going to be doing 2 shows tomorrow. Donald and I are going to be doing Marks on Wrestling early in the morning, early for me at least, 10 a.m. We're going to be talking about the WrestleMania 40 press conference, SmackDown tonight that I so conveniently missed, although I would have missed it anyway because I don't have cable. And also talk a little bit about the Vince McMahon scandal, just a little bit about that. And then also Saturday, tomorrow afternoon, I am going to be a guest on Kate's show. I keep wanting to call her Katie. I will be a guest on Kate's show, who is actually bringing her show to the network. And tomorrow's the first episode, so pretty excited about that.
Fun.
What's that?
Said, oh, fun.
Yes, yeah. And she is highly intelligent too.
Nice.
So I kind of get lost in some of the things that she says sometimes. So anyway, until next week on Supernatural Talk, we are going to be having Marcus and Paul from Spirit Guides on the show. So that one is guaranteed to be a laugh fest. It will be.
Ooh, okay.
But I would recommend you to tuning in, checking that one out because they do run their own show as well. So maybe some of the things that they say might help you guys out.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So for everybody out there in the audience, thank you for playing along, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.